Well, everyone, after seeing this movie, man, this is the closest I'm gonna get to my emo phase. So this movie brings something different to the table when it comes to Batman movies. This is like a classic Seven style detective movie, which is also kind of how Batman should have always been on screen. Yeah, to be honest, I've loved all the actors who have played Batman in the past, especially Michael Keaton. Go watch Dope Sick.
He's so poison, boy.
But Batman has kind of always been the weaker part when compared to the other characters and performances, like Gary Oldman as Gordon, or obviously Heath Ledger and Jack Nicholson as Joker. Batman's always kind of just been the weaker character. But in this movie, I freaking love Batman.
Vengeance. Vengeance is mine.
I remember when Robert Pattinson first got announced for Batman, a bunch of people were like, the guy from Twilight is trying to act in a movie other than Twilight.
Oh, wow!
Yeah, Robert Pattinson's fucking badass in this movie. Him and Matt Reeves do a fantastic job on the character. He's what we're always interested in. We're basically always following him throughout the movie. And you know, he's only in his second year as Batman, and it kind of shows. Like, he's still learning how to fight, run, hide, and why he's even being Batman. He's still trying to figure that out. But I'll talk about that later. I know a lot of people are upset about how his Bruce Wayne is. Like, he's also broody and depressed. But to be honest, I kind of like the approach. It showed us that Bruce is so consumed with vengeance and hate that he can't even keep up much of a persona. I'm expecting that to change in the next film though, based off where this one ends. Now let's talk about the other characters. The other characters are some of the best incarnations of them we've seen yet. Colin Firth as Penguin, probably one of the best performances in this whole movie. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, Jeffrey Wright as Gordon, and Paul Dano as the Riddler. Man, the Riddler, so well done in this movie. He is super creepy and, you know, classic Paul Dano, obviously, right? But when things don't go according to his plan, he becomes like a tiny little crybaby child, which is exactly how Riddler's supposed to be. I mean, that's how he is in the comics. Not to mention, the relationships between Batman and all these characters is at its peak. The way Gordon and Batman trust each other and bounce off each other is so well done. I also enjoyed the turmoil between Alfred and Bruce and how it gets resolved. You just really see how much they care for each other. And to get to Zoe Kravitz, she's great in this movie. There were a few changes to her character that I actually appreciated, and I also really appreciated her relationship with Bruce and how she doesn't really let others influence her and her decisions all that much. Finally, let me mention another character. Light spoiler warning. Towards the end of the movie, we see Barry Keoghan's iteration of Joker, and when I left the movie for the first time, it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. I wasn't really sure what they were trying to do with him, and he gave me a bunch of mixed tones. However, they have recently released a deleted scene featuring him, and my opinion has drastically changed. I really like the direction they're taking with him performance-wise. I really think this could be the most batshit insane Joker yet. And thank God it's nothing like Jared Leto. I still need to get used to his design with the burnt hair and everything, but you know, it's growing on me. Now, let me gush for a second about the freaking look and sound of this movie. Hot damn! The Batmobile, the rain, the punches, the breathing, the boots! The sound design is some of the best I've seen in cinema. Probably up there with Dune. And my boy, Michael Giacchino, hot off the tracks of No Way Home, creates a super iconic theme for Batman. It might be overused a bit, but it's still fucking badass. Also, the cinematography, the black, the red. This movie just looks so tight and all the shadows are in the right places. And wow, of course, the same guy who did the cinematography for Dune also did this. Now, I know many have the criticism that this movie is way too long, and honestly, I hear that. For me personally, as long as I enjoy a film overall, the length rarely affects my experience. I mean, Lord of the Rings, Endgame, No Way Home, love all these movies, even with their runtime, but I can see how some felt it was slow in moments. However, for me, I could watch the 4-hour cut of this movie. So many amazing moments in it, and I wanted more. So I'm gonna get into some minor spoilers here, so if you haven't seen The Batman yet, stop watching. Damn, why do all Batman movies have the best openings ever? The opening monologue is possibly the most badass thing I've experienced. When Batman says that he isn't hiding in the shadows and that he is the shadows. Woo!
He's so cool.
The action in this movie isn't super abundant, but when it happens, it's pretty freaking good. The Iceberg Lounge, the police station, and oh my god, the end fight. The end fight is insane. I love how Batman's actually getting hit and takes bullets to the chest and shows actual real pain. One of my favorite scenes is when he injects himself with either adrenaline or venom or something, and he's in so much pain. It's just a fucking badass scene. He's so furious. Finally, the theme shifts after the final fight, and it's where he truly becomes the Batman. When he realizes that he needs to be more than vengeance, he needs to embody hope as well. I thought this message really fits well with Batman. At the start of this movie, he's just consumed by vengeance. He only cares about punishing those who do wrong and striking fear into the crooks of the city. But towards the end of the film, he starts to see that he must provide hope for the people of Gotham. He has to lift them up so they can lift themselves up. I'm giving The Batman a 9 out of 10.